And hello, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the J Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Nowakowski, and let's get straight on into today's episode. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see I'm on Zoom. I have a new backdrop, and I am joined by Jason JD Hernandez. He's the host of the Locked On Anaheim Ducks podcast. Jason, how you doing today?
I'm doing spectacular after that Ducks win. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's always a good day after the Ducks beat the Kings. So, having a great day so far.
Yeah, the freeway face-off is always something spectacular to watch, especially last night's game. I mean, we could talk
Yes.
about that for a hot minute because,
Oh yeah.
oh boy.
Yeah, that was I will say, yeah, let's just start there. Let's start with last night's game. That was probably the best offensive game I've seen from the Ducks this season. I don't know if you agree with that, but they were getting shots to the net like crazy.
I put out a stat this morning on my podcast that the Ducks had a plus 38 shot attempt differential. That's
Wow.
not like the Ducks this whole season. So
No, it is not at
maybe it's
all.
a residue of the Ducks playing better, but also the Kings.
Right?
I don't want to say it to infuriate the Kings fans, but they played terrible.
Yeah, I was talking to some Kings fans during and after the game, and I mean they all they really had was that their NHL debuter had his first career goal, but other than that, they didn't have much to talk about.
I mean, the Artie party's in LA, so they should be celebrating that at least. And he's going to get some more goals for the Kings. He is that fantastic.
Yeah, I was impressed with the way he taken away from on the Kings side. I was impressed with the way he played, but I mean that was insane. I mean after the first period they had like 16 shots. I was like this is pretty insane. And then I think after the Ducks game they showed the shot attempts. It was like the Ducks had more shots on goal than the Kings had shot attempts.
That's very true, which is sad for the Kings.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think it was like 70 shot attempts for the Ducks. That was their most by far this season.
yeah.
Oh, poor
Yeah.
Ducks.
And I'm staying with that with the game last night. Nicholas Delorier picking up the Gordie Howe hat trick. I love to see that. I love to see that.
Hey, it's his second hat trick in 11 months. Go back
That's
to
right.
March 10th, 2020.
That's
That was
right.
one of the more bizarre games that I've ever witnessed covering this team, where Nick Delorier got a hat trick in 10 minutes. 10
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
Just bam, bam, bam. It was a natural hattie, too.
Yeah, I will say like for the last I would say 11, 12 months, I think that fourth line has been like the most consistent line for the Ducks offensively and defensively.
That's what I've been saying. Denton Heinen has been great. Nick Delorier has been great. The Elite 1C, Derek Grant, when he plays, is awesome. I can't wait to see him come back. Although once he comes back, who's gonna take time off? But who cares? The Ducks beat the Kings.
I know, yeah, and yes, and David Backus scored. He's looked good in since he's been playing his 3 games with Anaheim. I've liked what I've seen from him with him and Rowney.
There was an interview late last season before everything happened where David Backus was thrilled to be back playing with Anaheim or playing with Anaheim. He felt like it was a second chance to get his career really on the right footing. He felt that he could contribute very mightily to the Ducks, and he has so far. Obviously, last night being a big residue of that. He can make the case for being a full time roster spot, I think.
I would like to see it. I've liked what I've seen so far, and do you think that this game could be a bridge to possibly the offense is starting to possibly break out because we've been waiting for that all year?
It could be a catalyst for the sole reason that their next 2 games are against the San Jose Sharks, who are also in the bottom of the standings. So this could be a jumpstart to put the Ducks maybe in a playoff spot. I shouldn't say that because I'm just going to keep it honest. Look who's in that division. You have Kirill Kaprizov with the Minnesota Wild. He's probably a Rookie of the Year candidate. So
Mhm.
you got Minnesota. You've got St. Louis, who just demolished the Ducks over the past weekend. But St. Louis is that good. Hey, they were the Cup champions 2 seasons ago. Let's not forget that.
Yeah,
Then you have
yeah.
Colorado, who is the favorite to win the Cup this season. And oh, yeah, some team called the Vegas Golden Knights. They're pretty good, I guess. So they've
I,
lost to the Ducks, what, twice overall? That's it.
yeah, yeah. that division, when I saw it wrapped up, I was like, maybe they could compete for a fourth spot. But then like I saw the way they played against the teams that will be in the playoffs, and I was like, yeah, nope, all right,
Yeah, the
rebuild year.
Ducks really got screwed on that one
Yeah,
badly.
I know. I was hoping to play Vancouver and Edmonton, some of those teams again, but I guess we'll have to wait till next year for that.
The Ducks do well against Edmonton. For some reason, whenever Edmonton comes to the pond, they just lose focus, or I don't know what it is, but they just don't play that well in
Yeah.
Anaheim.
Yeah, you said on your last, since the comeback on Catella, they have sucked at Honda Center. They have sucked. It's crazy. It's so weird. Like McDavid seems irrelevant on the ice when he's playing at the pond.
It's weird. Ever since that game happened, it's like they've been spooked by it or something. But then again, how do you give up 3 goals in that amount of time in a playoff game? Come on, Edmonton.
Yeah, yes, I remember that game vividly. I was sitting there watching. I was like, this game's over, and I was like, whatever, I'll just keep on watching. They got 1 goal. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty cool. They got 2, and then they tied it. I was like, this is insane. I was like, I guess I'm staying up for this one.
I
And
think my mouth was open for about 10 seconds after that third goal. I was just like, are you kidding me? This really happened?
yeah, well, and then they went to the fact when they reviewed if Kessler had interfered with the goalie. I was like, watch, they're gonna call this goalie
Yeah.
interference, and we're gonna get screwed out of this game. I was like, this is gonna suck. But yeah, the rest is history.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Edmonton still struggles out there.
Yeah, for some reason, yeah. Though, when fans are available to be back, though, Edmonton is the team you want to see the Ducks play because they seem to beat them a lot.
Yeah. If I can give one more little thing on the St. Louis Blues. So I sincerely love the Ducks fans, what they did for St. Louis last season. And it's almost like even though the Blues killed Anaheim, there's still a mutual respect there because of what happened last year.
Hmm.
If you recall, about a year ago, actually, it's February 10th. So we're coming up on a year where
Yeah,
we had that incident with the Jay Bomeister heart episode that happened.
yeah.
And you had the makeup game. I will never forget walking into that arena and seeing the plethora of Ducks fans wearing Blues jerseys, or they had signs that said, welcome back, Jay,
Mm.
or, you'll always like, you're an honorary Duck and, get well. I loved seeing the camaraderie, and even the Blues players and the Ducks players, they kind of came together on the ice after the fact. They cheered the fans, just having the full support for Bomeister.
Mhm.
And even now, just on Twitter, you see still some of the respect between the Blues fans and the Ducks fans. There's not the vitriol there because of what happened last season. So, from a personal
Yeah.
standpoint, I love seeing that.
Yeah, yeah, and it's so funny that makeup game, that was the last game for the Ducks that year too. Yeah,
It
a lot
was
of,
it was scary, to be
yeah.
honest, because when I entered the arena, it was really early. I ran into Eric Stevens from the Athletic,
Hmm.
and we run into each other from time to time. And he kind of looked at me, and we kind of had this feeling like it's a little eerie
Hmm.
because there's not many fans here because the fear was starting to, I guess, come together. It was starting to materialize that maybe this is not going to happen because at the time it was announced that the Golden State Warriors, they were going to have no fans for their next game, which ended up not happening that Friday. So walking in, I actually saw a couple fans wearing like full white suits, the full body suits,
Wow.
which I thought at the time, I thought it was kind of clever saying, oh, okay, like they're taking this really seriously. Of course, back then, not knowing how bad it was going to get,
Hmm.
but I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Then, as warm up started, our phone started buzzing, and I looked on the TV up top, and I saw the Jazz game got like, what's going on? So I saw the Rudy Gobert report. Then I saw the refs for the NBA game come out, and they canceled the game. Then at about 6:30 or so, they canceled the NBA season. This was before warm-ups, mind you.
Hmm. Wow.
So there was a 35-minute time period where we went, oh God, the NBA just got canceled. Are we going? And they canceled the rest of the NBA games that day. And we kind of looked like, are we going to play this game? They could always cancel this. There
Wow.
was that thought. And the also secondary thought was, let's not screw these fans a second time because they already missed one game. This is the makeup game.
Hmm.
Once the game started, everything kind of washed away, and it was great to see that.
Wow. Yeah. So funny you mentioned that Blues game. I had tickets to the next two games. My friend from Arizona was in town. He's a big Kings fan. We bought tickets or we were about to buy tickets for Saturday's game, Ducks Kings. And I was like, all right, we're going to go. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be good. And then prior to that, like months ago, I bought tickets to the Boston game. And not to see the Ducks get demolished by Boston, but it was reusable straw night. And I was like, I want some Ducks reusable straws. I saw a
Yeah.
picture of them. I was like, I want those. And then everything happened. And I remember the morning after the NBA, after that incident happened, I was watching ESPN for 3 hours, watching each league by league just like get canceled. And college basketball was on, and they'd stop a game in the middle of halftime and like, nope, we're not playing anymore. Like in the middle of halftime, it was by far like the craziest thing, and like it is still so clear in my mind, and it's something that I think I won't ever forget, is all of that happened in that single day.
I think what's scary is we've already seen that happen in the American Hockey League for a preseason game where the game at Henderson at the Orleans Arena that got canceled after the second intermission because it turned out that someone from the Barracuda had tested positive. And at the time, I thought it was someone breaking COVID protocol, which is a very real thing
Yeah.
if you're covering any game live.
Yeah. um yeah, well, I mean, kind of getting back on track with this current Ducks team. I mean, so Adam Henrique was a healthy scratch for just one game, and then he came back and played for the Kings last night. And I know, like, it was the Adam Henrique healthy scratch. Was that more we're looking at trading him, or is it maybe we're trying to like light a fire under him and get him upset? Like, what do you think that was?
If they were trying to light a fire, it didn't work because they got demolished in that game as well. And we're starting to see some trade rumors. This was rumored that I can't believe I'm saying this. He could go back to New Jersey. And
Uh,
at first, I kind of put it out there as a silly rumor. Myself and Sarah Avampado from Locked On Kings, we kind of put it out there. But then we see the article the following day on SB Nation that here's three possible ways where the Devils could get Adam Henrique back, and we're like, oh no, what did we start?
oh
Like
man.
we didn't mean to put that rumor out there, but now that it's out there, it's starting to gain some steam with some fans. I mean, I still don't know if that's going to happen because the move that Dallas Eakins made is not a good move to make, especially with a player like Adam Henrique. As I've said, hockey players take pride in having long consecutive playing streaks. Even current players, Adam Henrique, he had 377 games and he got pulled from that game. It's a shame. I mean,
Mhm.
I've seen streaks go awry because of suspensions or because of injuries. The last couple big ones were because of suspensions, ironically. And this was neither of that. This was a healthy scratch trying to ruffle some feathers. And it didn't work. It may have worked for last night when he came back, but Henrique looked invisible at times, even on last night's game, because that was
Yeah.
probably the worst line out of the four from Anaheim.
I agree, and that one game, Henrique was a healthy scratch. Steele took over that second line, and
Mhm.
they didn't play. I mean, that game was I there was a bad game, but I have liked what I've seen from Sam Steele. He hasn't gotten the production, and his numbers don't look amazing, but like I've really liked what I've seen from Sam Steele, and I really think that young kids line, like they're gonna pop off soon. I'm feeling that they're gonna pop off sometime within now and the next 12 months.
They are analytics darlings, however. Their Corsi for percentage is probably among the best on that team. Not just Sam Steele, as you've talked about, but someone that should get some more love is Isaac Lundestrom,
Yes.
who
Yes.
had 100% Corsi for percentage. That's astounding.
Wow.
Isaac
Wow.
Lundestrom was 100%. That hardly happens.
Wow.
Max Comtois was at an 80%. That's amazing. Sam Steele was up there at 75%. That kids line has had time together with the San Diego goals or yeah, 2 years ago when it first started about. You had Lundstrom on a line with Sam Carrick and Sam Steele. Then you possibly had Steele with Carrick and maybe Comtois, or
Mhm.
you'd mix it up somehow, and it'd be those same 3, 4, or 5 guys that would do well for San Diego and demolish the competition there.
Mhm. Yeah. They got pretty close to winning the Calder Cup, didn't they? They got real
Yeah, a couple
close.
seasons ago, they made it
Yeah.
to the Western Conference Final, ended up losing to the Chicago Wolves, who were very good that season.
Yeah.
Some of those guys are now up with the Vegas Golden Knights because that was the affiliation back then. And to see the kid line really produce the way they are is astounding. And I guess we can kind of segue to current San Diego goals because I know you want to talk about them.
Oh, yes. I have questions with what's going on there.
Go
Okay.
for it.
All right. So we've seen the Zegras goal. We've seen that shootout goal. And then, okay, so I saw the Zegras goal and I was like, okay, that needs to happen. And then, I don't know, I'm sure you do, follow Timu Solani on Instagram. And then he posted, he's like, why is he not in the NHL? And I was like, okay, if Timu is saying he needs to be in the NHL, like immediately he needs to be called up to the NHL. Like, when is Zegras coming up? Because I think there's a lot of anticipation with him.
I mean, okay. So on January 13th, I put out a video on Locked On Zegras where I said he needs a month down in San Diego to really get going. He should have a couple of regular season games, which is coming up. And one of those is against the Rain. Right now, the Ducks just have a back-to-back against the Sharks. The goals are playing this weekend. I said back then, January 13th, give him a month. Give him until at the earliest mid-February to call him up. I think it's almost time. And just kind of rumblings or rumors is that Zegras could possibly come up later this month, but that's just, like some rumblings.
Okay,
Still not
okay.
100% there yet.
Well,
But
that's
it is
good news
possible.
for
But
Ducks fans,
all
though.
all indications is that he is going to come up this season because I almost feel like he's outgrowing the American Hockey League already, just
Right?
in the preseason alone. But I know Ducks brass want to see how he does in regular season play, especially against a couple of certain teams like the Ontario Reign, who have a great line or had a great line themselves with the Arthur Kaliev line. Um, yeah, I want to see how he does against them.
Okay,
And
okay.
we kind of saw it in the preseason game already.
Yeah, we did.
Um,
I watched that game on YouTube. I watched that was a good game.
Steve Carroll on the call, great job, buddy.
Yes. Another Ducks player, like, I don't know. I know you have briefly talked about it, but I just want to know if it's changed at all. Do you see with the injuries to the defense and that third line kind of being inconsistent and kind of changing a lot, and you have some injuries? Do you see Jamie Drysdale possibly playing for the Ducks this year?
Because of all the injuries with defense this year, I would say yes, I was going to say they desperately need him. However, that second line defense has done better than I thought. And I even said maybe last November, or no, November 2019. We're going to go way back here when I saw Yanni Hakanpää with the San Diego goals.
Mm,
And I said, there's something about this kid. I mean, he doesn't exactly light up the score sheet, but he does a lot of other different things. He has a fantastic back checking game. He's really good on defense. Last night, there was about a 2-minute stretch where the Kings just could not get the puck out of the zone. And I almost felt bad for the Kings because Kempe was out there for a long time. And so was Anderson. They looked gassed. They had a 2.5-minute long shift. And the Ducks just kept pummeling shot after shot after shot. And Hakanpää saved a couple of those pucks, keeping it in their zone. So at least the first two defensive lines, they're very good. And even Ben Hutton has been okay. But
yeah.
one more injury, and I could see Drysdale coming up right away.
Okay. Okay. That's good news to me because I believe they need some time in San Diego, but like I really want to see him in a Ducks jersey as well, and I want to see what they can do at this level because the Ducks are, I mean, let's be honest, they're in a rebuilding phase, and
Oh, hold on. We have to use the phrase that Bob Murray uses:
oh,
retooling. It's a
retool
retooling,
they're retooling at the moment. Okay, okay, they're
according to
retooling.
GM Murray.
Yeah, but I like to see some of the young guys come up because I mean, you got to see what you have, and like Yanni Hakanpää, I've liked he's a big physical presence as well. Like he's not going to score many goals, but he's going to be great. I think he can be great in the defensive zone. I think I think he could be a third line guy for us on the third pairing with
He is
someone.
not afraid to get to the dirty corners
Yeah.
and work the puck around. He's not
Mhm.
afraid of that at all.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, but hopefully we get to see some Zegers and Drysdale up in this upcoming season. But and I think we know the answer to this, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Is there some way that John Gibson can stay in this God mode he's in and somehow lead the Ducks to that fourth spot in the division and get us to the playoffs? Is there any hope at all?
I'm going to do a little bit of live research here right now because I haven't checked this in the last couple of days. There was a time where John Gibson had by far the league lead in expected goals saved again, or GSAX,
Yeah.
which is basically the expected amount of goals that should be scored and above average. Right now, John Gibson is sixth in the league with a 338, so it's gone down. But the expected goals against by now should be around 25. The Ducks should have 25 goals against them. They currently don't. It's at 20. It's less than that.
Hmm.
But look at some of the guys that are above him. Peter Mrazek, he's played a few games. Philip Grubauer has been good. John Gibson is right there with some of the better young goalies in the league. And I would even say he's in his prime right now.
I would. I think it started like really. He's been a really consistent goalie for the Ducks last year, and he just finds ways to the way that I can see him power from move left to right on one
Mm-hmm.
timers is absolutely crazy. The like how he just pushes off and gets to the other side of the net so fast, and he does it consistently multiple times a game because the Ducks give up a lot of cross ice passes in the zone.
Yep. But there is one thing that I'm sad about. I made the comparison with John Gibson to Mike Trout.
Oh
They're in
boy.
their primes and their talent is being wasted.
Mm. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm hoping this young Ducks team can, bring up the young guys and just see what happens. And if John Gibson can lead us to the playoffs, I think that'd be great. I don't know
Hey,
how
next
realistic that is, but
I don't know if it's realistic either, but I would look more forward to next season because Corey
yes,
Perry's 6.6 buyout goes off the books after next season. It's only
yes.
2 million after that. Kessler goes off the books. Getzloff, he's not going to get re-signed for that much. Let's face it.
Mhm.
He's an older player right now. He's slowing down. Everybody knows it. Um, it might be time to say goodbye to Ryan Getzloff, but I'm still
I
not
was I was just gonna
sure.
ask that. I was like, do you think he stays? Do you think where do you see Getsy in a Ducks uniform next year, or do you see him playing on a different team, or even retiring possibly? I don't know.
From a sentimental standpoint, I would like to see him stick around a little bit more. But if he's going to come back, he's going to have to accept a pay cut, and he knows it.
Hmm.
With
Yeah.
that said, I don't know if he's going to retire anytime soon because he's still got some good hockey in him. He still makes the fine passes. He still has some game. Look at Corey Perry. Look at the contributions he made to the Stanley Cup final last season. He had a game-winning goal in the Stanley Cup final this past season in the bubble, for what it's
Yeah.
worth. And he was impressive for a few games. Corey Perry. And we
I was
thought he
watching
was
those.
done.
And now he scored a goal with or yeah, I think he scored a goal with Montreal, got hit. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, "Oh, he's still doing it in Montreal. Okay then."
He's still doing it. He's still doing it. And so is God, Tyler Toffoli.
Oh my gosh. My Kings friends are so upset about that right now. They're like he's on like Tyler Toffoli just he can't be stopped right now. Like him and
No,
Connor McDavid are just like going off right now. It's insane.
that entire Canadian division is like the wild, wild west with the amount of scoring they're doing up there.
Right?
Goaltending does not exist in Canada, apparently.
Apparently not. No goaltending up north.
No,
Yeah.
but then again, look at some of the goalies that are up north. And sorry, Canada, but Jacob Markstrom is a good goalie, but he's not a premier goalie. Jack Campbell, he was a perennial backup to Jonathan Quick for the Kings. Not
Mhm.
exactly the top rated goalie. Sorry about Laurent Brossoit for Winnipeg. Sure. Jake Allen for Montreal. Okay.
Eh. Yeah.
Like you see where I'm saying. Thatcher Demko has been okay for Vancouver, but
Hmm.
this isn't exactly the top line of goalies.
No,
Even this
it's
season,
not.
Connor Hellebuck has been struggling a lot
Yeah,
with Winnipeg this season.
out of nowhere. I mean, that one has really shocked me. I mean, I remember it was last year in the playoffs. They were talking about he is an elite goalie. He's gonna be here a long time and do good. And I'm like, and then we're seeing him this year. I'm like, I don't know what's going on with you right now, man.
I don't know. Carey Price is struggling. Braden
Yeah,
Holtby is really struggling with Vancouver.
yeah, yeah. I'm so. Who is your Stanley Cup favorite? Like, if you had to pick today, who you think will win the cup? Who do you think it is?
I had been saying Colorado for the longest time, but they've been struggling a little bit this season, haven't they?
Yeah,
I mean,
the Ducks took 3 out of 4 points from them. The Ducks.
I'll admit I didn't see that coming. Not at
I didn't either.
all.
I didn't either. I was not prepared for that weekend of games when that happened.
No, and I got to give credit to Dallas Eakins on that one. He coached that one brilliantly. That one was on him.
Yeah.
As far as who I think looks really good, God, Montreal might be the team to beat right
Could
now.
they're looking good. I had Colorado last year winning it. And
Same.
I don't want to say Colorado again, because then you're just real high on Colorado. I'm like, but if you look at this team, how are they struggling if you look at the names that they have right now? It just doesn't
There,
make sense.
Mikko Rantanen is one of the most underrated players on that team that no one talks
Yes.
about
Yes.
because everyone talks about Nathan McKinnon, everyone talks about Cale Makar
Mm-hmm.
and Gabriel Landeskog and
Yep.
even Azim Kadri. Who talks about Mikko Rantanen all that much? He's been fantastic for the Colorado Avs this season. I think he's
Yeah.
been great.
Well, I know the Ducks announcers were saying his name a lot during that weekend because there were quite a few times where he almost beat John Gibson, or Gibson got some help from the crossbar and the posts. That happened a few times over that weekend.
Exactly. So I still like Colorado this season, but I love what Montreal's putting out there. The goal scoring is probably the best and most effective goal scoring in the National Hockey League right now. Just look at the way they get their passes, like the cross ice passes. Their power
Yeah.
play is fantastic.
Yeah.
Even their goaltending is great. They, I think, lead the league right now in goal differential at 17 last time I checked.
Wow.
So they might be the team to beat.
Wow. That
And
that
they're
that's
still
an
they're still the last Canadian team to win the cup.
I well, but the crazy thing is, like, look at Montreal last year. Nobody was talking about this coming, really. No one really saw this coming. And if they keep it up, like, that would be insane. That would be crazy if they could keep it up at the pace they are right now.
Mhm.
And yeah, because I think if you asked anybody out of all the Canadian teams who will be the next one to win the cup, most of them will probably say the Leafs or the Jets. No one would be thinking Montreal, 12 months
I'm
ago.
still not sold on the Leafs winning the cup. I'm
Neither am I.
not.
Neither am I, but you have a lot of Leafs fans and people in Canada that'll get mad at us for saying that the Leafs will not win the cup, will not be the
Sorry,
next one.
Toronto fans. Sorry, but Montreal's a team to beat.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Montreal is your team. Okay. Um, I guess I just have like a nostalgia question, I guess. So I'm wearing, can't really see it, but I have the Hall of Fame banner shirt. I was at Niedermayer's Hall of Fame
Hey, Mighty
ceremony.
Ducks logo forever.
Yes. Can that come back, please? Like, please.
Please,
I want those
Ducks.
back. I want those back so bad.
They should have wore the reverse retros last night.
Okay.
Missed.
That made me so
Uh-oh.
upset. Like, the Kings are wearing theirs. And then I was like, oh, when are the Ducks going to wear theirs? And I looked on the thing. It's like February 29th and like March 6th, like twice. And I was like, you have these beautiful, beautiful uniforms. And you're wearing them twice? Come on. Come on.
Only twice. The Kings are
Yeah,
doing theirs a few times, even Arizona, but only twice?
I
Come on,
know.
Ducks.
I know.
You're not
Yeah.
going to sell jerseys that way.
I,
I've been to the team store. I see them hanging there. Come on.
right. Yes. Yeah. But I think my favorite, you're talking about the Mighty Ducks logo, and I can talk about the Ducks and their uniforms forever. So I have my favorite jersey is I have a JS Giguère jersey, but it's like
Nice.
the alternate jerseys that are like the eggplant and black ones.
So the one that says Anaheim, the Mighty
The
Ducks
one
in
that says Mighty
script.
Ducks and then Anaheim is huge with the
Got
MD.
it. Yep.
I don't know why, but I just like I'm not a big fan of the word jerseys, but like I don't know, that one gets I love the color scheme and like if they were to like make a white uniform of that, I was like,
Ooh,
ooh, that would be nice.
that'd be kind of awesome.
Right? But I mean, I think we're over asking at that point, so let's just go back to the Mighty Ducks uniforms.
Yes,
I
please
think
go
that's
back.
yes.
At
Yeah.
least the Ducks are giving us a compromise by having the alternate orange jerseys. So that's a compromise, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
They're still okay.
they should have I think they should have kept their silver season jerseys.
Yep.
Those ones were beautiful.
Those are my favorite of that latest batch. I have that
Beautiful.
jersey. I love it.
Yes, I have a Raquel one. I love it. I Those are beautiful jerseys. Those ones are nice.
Those ones
But
are great. I think the only name player that I have is John Gibson, but that's John Gibson. I mean, he's going to be with the team for a long time. He's
yeah,
signed for the next few years.
yeah.
He's just amazing in goal.
I got to get my hands on a Gibson one next. But so yeah, my shirt has the banners of Solani, Korea, and Niedermeyer. I guess my question is like, who will be the next Duck that you see that banner is being risen and that number's retired? Like, is it someone currently like Getzlaff, or do you see some of the older guys like maybe is it JSG Gare? Is it someone else that possibly gets up, or are we looking at Perry and Getzlaff maybe?
I have been advocating for a couple of years now that JS Jaguar deserves a banner up there.
Yes,
He
yes.
was part of the team for both Stanley Cup runs, not just one, both of them. Think about it. He was on the losing side in 2003 and still won the Conn Smythe Trophy. He was that amazing in net, even though, yes, New Jersey did a good job. And yes, Brodeur was fantastic in that final series. But that entirety of the playoffs, Jaguar led the Ducks that season.
Mhm.
I mean, never mind
Yeah,
that, yeah, Paul Correa had the iconic goal, the off the floor on the board. That
on
one's
the board.
iconic.
Yes, yeah.
But you don't get there without J.H. Jaguar.
I
You don't get there without his stellar play against the Dallas Stars that
mm,
season.
yeah.
So I look at him as being up there.
I was only 3 when that I've watched the videos from that. I was only 3, so I don't remember it. And I vividly remember '07.
Oh yeah.
I remember that one pretty well. I was in like kindergarten, but like I've watched the videotape that's on you, the little documentary of the whole season. And when they traded for oh man, I'm upset. I'm missing his name.
Brad May.
No, he was on Edmonton, big guy enforcer. Oh my gosh.
I
I
mean,
feel
I think of Brad
so
May only because he came that season on a trade as well.
yeah, it was in the off season or maybe it was a free agent signing. Maybe no, I think it was a free agent signing. Um I'm so
Are you
Chris
talking about
Pronger. Chris
Pronger? Okay.
Pronger. That wow. He's one of my I know he was very like not a lot of time with Anaheim. I loved watching him in Anaheim. I know it was very
Yeah.
short, but I really liked him in Anaheim. But I'm with you with JSG Gare. I want his number up there so bad. I want him to get the credit he deserves. And
He does.
he he really I mean, the Ducks offense that year was great, but he came up huge in that Detroit series.
Oh gosh, absolutely. In that series, especially,
Yeah.
I thought he was on top of his game. In a way, I thought he was somewhat better. Well, I shouldn't say that. There was some games where he was better in the 2007 run, which he did lead that team to the promised land. There were a couple series up there in 2007 where I thought he was unstoppable against Vancouver, against Minnesota. He had a couple of really good games
Yeah.
early on that '07 run where you
Yeah.
kind of stop and think maybe they could do it because Minnesota was a good team back then.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit, they were amazing. So
Yeah.
to see Jaguar just lead them that way,
Well, and so yeah,
PPA.
again, I was super young when that Detroit series happened, but I remember talking to my dad, and he was like, this, like he's like if the Ducks can beat Detroit, he's like whoever wins this, they're taking home the cup. I remember my dad saying like whoever wins this, they're taking home the cup. Detroit is like a nemesis to Anaheim, and I mean, and even in recent matchups, you know, a few years ago they met in the playoffs again, and but like I remember that my dad was like, if they can beat them, they're taking home the cup. And that I
Yep.
remember that series just being absolutely insane, insane.
It was
And
one of the more fun ones for sure.
yeah,
But if Jiggy doesn't get up there soon, then it's absolutely going to be Ryan Getzloff who's going to
yeah,
go up there first. Um, and I've even made the case that Getzy should probably be a Hall of Famer.
yeah. I would stand by you with that one. I think he is too. You know, he's
Once he gets
coming up.
1,000 points,
Yes,
that'll help.
once he gets 1,000 points, once he passes Timu for Ducks points, which he's putting along.
He's
I want
close.
to see him get there this year, but like I don't know at the pace he's going right now. I think he's gonna
It's
come
going to
up
be
short.
close.
Yeah, but I you know Getzlaff. He always is the guy that is a little bit of a slow start, but he'll go on these runs he'll go 5 games and have like 10, 12 points. He pulls off these runs sometimes that are crazy.
That's his whole career. He's been doing that. I should expect nothing different now.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But we've covered a lot of Ducks hockey, but you did a nice little tribute to Kobe Bryant on the 1 year anniversary of his passing.
Yeah.
And not many of my listeners have probably heard that, but you were at some pretty special Kobe Bryant games. If you want to kind of tell my
I still have one of these.
oh, that's so cool. That is so cool.
Still have my little Kobe bear.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty awesome. So why don't you tell some of my listeners like the some of those games that the special Kobe games that you were at?
So I was at his first game all the way back in 1997, showing my age a little bit, but I was like a little kid. So I'm not that old. But my mom took me to his first game. And at first, it was because I wanted to see Shaq because the big deal was Shaq's a Laker, Shaq's a Laker. Oh my God.
Mm.
And we couldn't go to his first game because tickets were through the roof for that first game against Phoenix.
Oh wow.
So I said his second game, like, yeah, I'm okay seeing his second game. And then I saw Kobe come in, and I had already heard a lot about him. Like, oh, this young high schooler, like he looks really awesome. So we saw him play a little bit, and that was his first game at the
Wow.
Forum. Oh man.
Wow. Dang,
So
that
saw a few more Kobe games at the Forum those first 3 seasons, and even going forward to Staples Center, saw a couple games there. Um,
wow.
I also saw a 50-point performance of his
Mm.
against the Clippers. So here's a funny story. The Lakers season tickets were getting super expensive, and we'd only gotten like a partial package. And I said they're getting expensive. So what happened is I, for 3 seasons, was a Clippers season ticket holder for the sole reason that we would be guaranteed to see the Lakers 4 times.
Wow. Smart. That's smart right there.
And
That's
then
that's smart.
I sold some of the other tickets just to get some money back.
Mm.
But saw Kobe 4 times a year, and one of those was a 50-point performance
Wow.
against the Clips.
That's
But
pretty
I mean,
cool.
by far the best game that I saw. I mean, Kobe scoring 60 the finale game.
Yeah.
By then we had season tickets for the Lakers, and oh man, I won't forget that ever.
Yeah, that I won't forget watching on my TV. Dad is sitting next to me, and we're sitting at the beginning of the game, and I was like, man, this is a slow start. I was like, it's his last game. He's gonna, he'll turn it on, and Shaq made the joke, go get 40 for me, and Kobe's like, I'm not gonna do that, and then he just starts racking up he starts going on this crazy run, and
Yep.
fourth quarter he just goes off, and my dad and I we were going crazy. My mom and sister are asleep in the house, and my dad and I are screaming at the top of our lungs when he hit that shot to give the Lakers the lead and give him 58. Crazy.
Imagine being there.
I
Like
right. I know. I saw.
it's
I
always
know.
hard for me to describe being at that moment
Yeah.
because I'll admit I was just in shock. I was just kind of already like not in tears, but I was choking up a little bit because I knew that it was his last game. And I kind of had that lump in my throat the entire fourth quarter. knowing that this was going to be his final quarter in the NBA because they were
Mm.
not in the playoff hunt. So there was that juxtaposition of being sad but having the thrill one more time,
Yeah.
that he gave us one more gamer.
Yeah, that game. I will never forget that game. And then we had the sad, tragic passing of him and everyone else, and Gigi and all the others in that plane crash. And I
Yeah.
remember, we just by coincidence, I'm a big Ja Morant fan, so I had tickets to the Grizzlies Clippers game, which was on the same day as his celebration of life.
Yeah.
So we were, I was like, okay, well, we need to go like earlier because traffic's gonna be insane. And it was just so weird being down. It was like it was just that whole game. Also, like the game itself, like Clippers won, whatever. I'm a Lakers fan, but whatever. And I'm wearing my Grizzlies jersey, but like walking around LA live before the game, it was just like no one was talking, no one was doing, like, it was just, it's the energy was so off the whole day there.
My experience was a little different that day because that was the All Star game for the AHL. That was Hockey All Star weekend.
Mm,
So you had the NHL All Star taking place elsewhere, and then you had AHL taking place here in SoCal in Ontario. And I actually worked that entire weekend. I had stuff going on Saturday. I had a couple of youth games to work. I had a couple of little extra games and extra activities and stuff that I was working that whole weekend.
mm,
I had met up with the host of the Kings, Locked On Kings, Sarah Avampado. We met up a few times that weekend, and I just remember going into the adjacent rink at about 8 in the morning. Just I was already like dressed. I was preparing for a full day of stuff, not knowing what was going to happen.
mm. Wow.
So my mind was not there at all. It was just focused on, okay, let's do all these things, but let's have fun. Like,
Mm,
this is a big deal because I get
yeah.
to work this all-star game on national TV. So my mind was there.
Mm,
Then as I'm working between a youth hockey game and one of the other, I guess, all-star activities, I have my phone on for about 5 minutes. And then I see that initial TMZ report, like the initial report that said that Kobe Bryant had passed. And I'm like thinking for a minute, should I retweet this? Should I say something? Should I not? And I decided,
mm,
you know what? I'm just going to retweet and I'm going to say something and then have my phone on silent because I have to work the
yeah.
game.
Mm,
So I work the activity, turn my phone on silent, not looking at it because I have to be focused on work.
mm.
Then I look an hour and a half later, or actually, no, during an intermission, during a break, about 40 minutes later. And I kind of hear the rumblings behind me. And I look at my phone and it's blown up. And people are going up to me like, is it true? Like, I know you're kind of in the media, but like, can you confirm this? So I asked one of my buddies who is in media, and he said, yeah, it's true. Like,
Wow.
all of it's true. And he was one of the first people that got on the beat saying that his daughter was also in there.
Oh man. Wow.
So when I said that in my box, I just was mouthing a gap, like how do you function for the next few minutes? Because
Yeah. I
Kobe
yeah.
was an integral part of Southern California, not just LA,
Mm-hmm.
but I think about the Orange County connection as well, because
Yeah.
he lived down there with his whole family down there. And I loved hearing all the stories afterwards of his visits to Disneyland. I've waved to him at Disney. I'll admit it. I've seen him there. He'll wave, like he'll at least wave back. So he was kind of cool about that with his family there.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I
That's
I think if you're a SoCal person and if you've been in Orange County a lot, most people will have a Kobe Bryant story.
mm, that's pretty cool. That yeah, I there I
But man,
I'm yeah, I don't live in OC, but like I've heard stories about how like just how nice how like he'd be with his family, but he was always like very nice to everyone who would approach him or just even wave. And he was, he wanted his family time and to be with his family, but he always seemed to, wave or, at least make a gesture saying, I recognize you, I see, who I am, and I, thank you.
Yeah, he was approachable in that way.
Yeah.
I did like that one of the Orange County restaurants that he frequented with his daughter. They've now renamed it John's French Toast.
Yes, I know. I need to go to that. I know. Like so I don't live in Orange County, but before COVID, I would go out pretty frequently. I had Disneyland season passes. We went to lots of Ducks games. I went to the Anaheim Ducks Day at California Adventure last year in January. Um,
That was fun.
and that was so fun. Unfortunately I didn't get there early enough to get to the signings, but I was able to grab a Spirit jersey, which that's what I really wanted, and the signings were kind of random, and I was like, if I get there early enough, cool. But they were sold out by the time I got there. I was like, all right, it's okay. And then they're like, Sam Steele's gonna be here as part of the autograph thing, and I was like, that's my favorite Duck player. That's not cool. So
See,
yeah.
I'm not one for autographs mainly because media can't get autographs, but
Mm,
just at least getting to talk to some of the guys through the last couple seasons, they're all, I mean, they're just kind of normal guys, and we end up not talking about hockey half the time.
mm. Oh wow.
If we're in a certain state, we don't talk about hockey all that much. Um, I'll go back to an interview with Anthony Stolars where we didn't talk about his game that he had just played. No, we just went completely off the rails random, where we talked about Gritty
Wow.
because he had his Gritty mask.
Oh my
So I
gosh.
just kind of like in passing, like, okay, so what happened with the Gritty mask? Like, I know you were famous for having that. And he went on to say, oh, yeah, my buddy has it. And he had this whole story, which is fantastic.
Mm.
But going back to Kobe, my favorite piece of Kobe anything was The Legacy and the Queen,
Oh wow,
the book
that's
that he wrote
cool.
as autographed. So,
That's awesome. Wow,
yeah,
that's pretty special piece of memorabilia right there.
absolutely.
Yeah, I remember after his passing, I waited about I don't know a few days, and I went to the because I played high school basketball, and I went to the Mamba Sports Academy. I mean, I had played there before, and it was just so weird. And then I think it's not the Mamba Sports Academy anymore. I think they renamed. I think it's just back to the Sports Academy.
It's a sports academy, yeah.
Yeah, they turned it back to the Sports Academy, but, yeah, I played a basketball tournament there, and, I think I remember hearing that he was there, but I never saw him, but I heard that at that tournament, he was there on a different court, but, I never got to see that, but it's just crazy to think about every time I think about that, like, that, he's no longer here. It's just
I know.
crazy. It's hard. It's still hard. I remember that you said that initial TMZ report. I was shopping in Target and I just, open up Instagram and I don't know if do you know who Bob Menry is? He kind of does the goofy commentary.
Yeah.
Okay, so he had posted it, and I think the TMZ report, and I was like, okay, I'm not hearing this from like it's TMZ, which is already like they can mess things up every once in a while, and then it was him posting it. I was like, okay, like someone had like this is a joke, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna try and go on the TMZ website, and the website was crashed and it was down, and I was like, okay, maybe it's just a hacker making a really bad, nasty prank. And then everyone started posting about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, you got to be kidding. And then there were, and then the whole thing about Gigi, and then you heard Rick Fox was possibly on the plane, and I was like, no, I was like, okay, no, we've lost enough. Stop
Yeah.
there, please. But have you been watching any current Lakers basketball? You still? Yes. Okay. Um, how you feeling about this Lakers team this year?
LeBron took a lot of crap the other night in Atlanta.
Seriously,
I was
seriously,
pissed.
seriously like like he kept his cool. Like I would be so but I mean LeBron's been doing that for 18 years, keeping it. He's had so many like shit
Yeah.
talkers, but like he really just kept his cool
Well,
the whole
first
time,
off, keep your mask on, lady. Like, if you're gonna
right?
yell at him, keep your mask on. Don't go off making yourself look like a fool.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously. I mean, LeBron proceeded to ice the game again. I mean, he did it when the
Yep.
Cavs member was clapping and standing up, and now this crazy Karen, as he calls her, does this. And it's just like, okay, have you guys learned your lesson? You don't talk to LeBron when he plays,
Oh,
or
they haven't learned anything, of
right?
course.
Seriously, like keep on talking. He's just gonna do something, and he's gonna win every time you want to do something like that. But like it was so
The Lakers
seeing
look good.
they do okay. So the Dennis Schroeder trade, I have been a fan of him since Atlanta, and then like he
Yep.
didn't play a lot with Atlanta, and I was like, dude, this guy's good. You need to play him, and he did well in OKC, and then it's like Lakers traded him for Danny Green. I was like, yes, upgrade. And then, I was like, Lakers need to sign a big man. And I was, doing my own research, and everyone's like, it's probably gonna be Tristan Thompson. And then it's like Montrezl Harrell. And I was like, I kind of hate that guy because he plays on the Clippers. But like I don't like him the same way I don't like Patrick Beverly. Is they will just annoy you so much that you want to
Yes.
go insane. And so like when we played against Montrez, I was like, man, I want to smack you. And then he does it on the Lakers. I'm like, I love it. He's getting under their skin. He's a guy like he's a Rondo. He's like if he's on your team, you love him. If he's not, you hate him.
I'm going to go a little bit old school for some of those old school basketball fans. A little bit like Avery Bradley, who later became, or not Avery Bradley a little bit, but Avery Johnson.
Yes.
He was kind of a pest on defense
Yes.
too, and a lot of players didn't like him. And even though he was a Clipper for a while, Sam Cassell was
Mm,
kind of the same way
yeah.
at times, but he
Yes.
also had that, big ball energy that
Yeah.
he had.
Yeah. Yeah. This Lakers team, I really like them. I know they were on a losing streak, and then they won their last two. Um, I re,
Yep.
you
I'll
know.
throw out a couple more names out there that were pests. Doug
Oh, okay.
Christie and the
Oh,
Kobe stopper, Ruben Patterson.
mm,
Kobe stopper,
yeah.
please.
I'm no one's a Kobe stopper. Okay,
No.
no one. No, there is no Kobe stoppers.
No, except for Michael Jordan in 1998, but that's about it.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, this Lakers team is like I really like this team. Like, you still got AC Fresh, who, you love me some bald Mamba Caruso play. And Wesley Matthews, he's picked up his game. He's been starting to hit his shots, and this team just seems to bond so well together. And I think it's easy when you're winning to bond the way they do. But
Hey, Wes Matthews taken after his papa.
right, yeah,
Why
and
does no one mention that?
right, I know. Well, I saw Wesley Matthews sign. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And they're like, and then someone said like his dad played for the Lakers. I was like, that's pretty cool. And then like that was
No,
the
no, no,
only time
no,
I heard
no.
of that.
His dad played for the world champion Lakers in 87 and 88. Don't diss Wes Matthews like that. He's a two-time champion.
Yeah,
Then again, so was Adam Morrison.
I was gonna say, didn't Kwame Brown get one as well?
No, 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 no.
Oh, he was traded for Gasol
He was
before.
traded for Gasol.
He was traded for
Stephen A. Smith
Gasol.
will remind you of
Oh
that.
my gosh,
A bona fide scrub.
yeah, I think there was like yesterday or 2 days ago was like an anniversary of that trade, and that Stephen A posted that little bait, and like, oh, I loved that. Bona fide scrub. Like who get
Yeah,
like you
no
get Paul
disrespect.
Gasol, right? Yeah. Yeah, he's a brother. He's a brother.
How do you say no disrespect after dissing him that way? Best rant ever.
You can always rely on Stephen A for some good rants. If you're in a laughing mood, just turn on some Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
Are you gonna
But
be watching?
I think this Lakers team is constructed to go back to back. There is one team that scares me, and it's not the Clippers.
Same here. Who's your team?
That scares me. Oh, the Utah Jazz.
In the West,
they are scary right now.
Donovan Mitchell is on another crazy. I mean, so is Bradley Beal, but he's in Washington, and he's nothing. We're not going to worry about Washington because they're not getting near. But man, Utah is looking really good. I mean, I can't wait for the Lakers to face Utah. I want to see that game. That's going to be a
if
good
you
game.
had told me that the Jazz would have the best record in the NBA right now, I would not believe you.
Nope.
But they're on another one. And I'm
They're
not just saying this because my boss happens to be the Jazz announcer, David Locke. So shout out, David. But, I've been watching some of his postcasts. He's excited for this Jazz team, and he should be. Donovan Mitchell is right now the most underrated player in the NBA by far.
think
Why are we not talking about him more?
yeah, I know, a lot of, Embiid is getting a lot of love for MVP, Jokic, and and Donovan Mitchell is just consistently night in, night out being a monster. I
Hmm.
mean, so I would say Utah worries me. Okay, since they're in the East, does Brooklyn worry you? Thank you.
Not
Okay.
at
Cool.
all.
All right. We're on the same level there. Cool. I That defense is so bad, and sure, you can go and score, you can try and score on the Lakers defense and you'll get your points, but we're going to score 140 if you can't stop Anthony Davis or LeBron or, Dennis Schroeder or Harrell. Like, we have so many guys that will just get buckets on you.
Some of the best NBA coaches in history have said defense wins championships. Phil Jackson has said defense wins championships. Red Auerbach has said that. Pat Riley, even Greg
Mhm.
Popovich. Oh, look at
Yep.
those Greg Popovich led Spurs teams. Defense was their cornerstone, and they won 99, 03, 05, 07. Like, you get the picture. 14. They won 5 championships.
Yeah.
5.
I said it when I first started. This is podcast is very new. I started in August with this, but I started with some NBA bubble stuff, and I said when the playoffs started and seeding was done, said the finals is going to be the Lakers and the Heat. And man, my DMs were full of Miami. Well, look at Milwaukee. I was like, like I don't know. They seem to play. Giannis seems to not play well in the playoffs. And I was like, it's gonna be Miami. Just watch, it's gonna be Miami. And then it was Miami and the Lakers. And I was like, wow, you're so smart. I was like, yeah, I kind of saw it coming, but Brooklyn doesn't scare me. They defense wins championships.
You know who I had? I had Lakers Celtics.
You okay? That was close. That was my second choice. I was as I was recording, there were four teams in the East that I was like, maybe. It was Miami. I thought about the Bucks, the Raptors, and the Celtics. And I looked at all the teams, I was like,
Oh,
okay, who has the best defense? And I was like, Miami is the most consistently like the best defense. This year they're really struggling. I don't know what's going on with them this year though.
I don't know. Heroes struggle a little bit. So is Jimmy Buckets.
Yeah, seriously. I did not see that coming. I mean, yeah, I did not see that coming from Jimmy Buckets or yeah, Hero. Duncan Robinson also, he's been off a little bit this year as well.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah. You going to be watching the Super Bowl this Sunday?
I'm actually working some
Ah.
youth
Ah.
stuff on
Okay.
Sunday morning afternoon. So I'll watch as much as I can.
Okay.
Because at least this year it's more intriguing than in years past.
Yes, I agree. So, you have the GOAT Tom Brady and baby GOAT Patrick Mahomes at who's taking home the Super Bowl? Who do you think's going to win?
I think it's going to be an official passing of the torch.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that here's what I think is going to happen. Here's how it's going to play out. Bucks are going to get ahead early because the Chiefs do that apparently. You know the Chiefs give up the early scores. They do that a lot. They'll
Yep.
get behind by a touchdown or 10 points. They'll come back. The Chiefs will win it. And after the game, you'll see a moment between Brady and Mahomes where Brady will kind of nod his head and be like,
It's
"Yep,
yours. You're
it's
you're
yours
next. You
now."
got next.
Yeah,
Okay.
I passed the torch.
I can see Kansas City falling behind early, but the thing is, if you look at like past Super Bowls, Brady has such a bad first half. Like statistically, he plays so bad in the first half of every Super Bowl, and so like everyone's like these two like good offenses. Tampa has a pretty good defense, but all these good offenses, like there's going to be a lot of points. I was like, both teams are really off to slow starts. I was like, it'll be like 10-7 at halftime. But then the second half, it'll
Oh,
be
less than that. It's going to be 7-3 at the half.
but then the
7-3.
second half, they'll end the game. Both teams will be in the high 20s, early, 30s probably by the end of this one.
Yep.
Um, okay, yeah. So the passing of the torch, and that's one thing that I wish LeBron had the chance to do because Mahomes has a chance if he beats Brady, and he'll probably win more after this. He'll go down as the GOAT. But LeBron never got the chance to go after MJ, and Kobe never got the chance to meet him in the finals either. I
Yep.
I still I'll argue. I think LeBron is. I think LeBron's a GOAT. I know his
Not
finals
yet. Not
I think if he
yet.
gets one more, I don't think he needs to tie Jordan. I think he needs to get one more because Jordan was
I'm sorry,
60.
but this is one of my masks that I have.
Oh, should I not
Jordan's the
bring up this
goat.
conversation then?
Jordan is the goat still as of now.
Okay.
If
Okay.
LeBron can get one or two more, if he can get two more, then I will say LeBron gets it.
Okay. Okay.
One more, it's going to be close.
I think yeah. So I say one more, and I would make the argument for it only because for this reason only. Jordan was 6-0 in the finals, but look at the years that he missed or didn't even make the finals. It seems like when LeBron makes the playoffs, he goes to the finals. And yeah, his finals record isn't amazing, but he still has 4 championships, and it's like, but he consistently gets his team to the finals year in and year out.
Well, I think the thing with the Jordan years is you had the bad boy Pistons that just
And you
had
had the
these
Bird
Jordan rules.
Celtics. They were towards,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if you go up against a team that's 40-1 at home, 40-1,
Yeah.
who does that anymore? No
I
one.
yeah. It's always a fun debate to have though, and it'll be. I think if he gets one more, the arguments will be more. You'll hear a little bit more. If he gets two more, I think it'll be. He has more points. He has, statistically, he has the same amount of championships. I think that's when it'll elevate if he can get two more. I think he gets one more this year, and we'll see after that.
It's a prescient argument to make because I look at the competition that Jordan had. He went up against some tough teams back in the 90s. Those Knicks teams that just
Mm,
pummeled him night
yeah.
in and night out. You had the
Yeah.
nastiness of Charles Oakley and John Starks
Mm,
just trying to fight him, even Derek Harper.
yep.
And then
Oh
you
yeah.
had those Indiana Pacers teams with Reggie Miller
Reggie
trying to
Miller.
punch MJ a couple times and
Yeah.
Rick Schmitz.
Yeah, the competition was very different, and I will give you that.
Yeah. Plus,
Yeah.
if Jordan hadn't retired, he probably could have won 7 or 8 in a row. But he had to try baseball and make a movie,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
which was very good. Space
And they'll
Jam 1 is awesome.
and there will be a reboot this summer with
Yep.
LeBron, and
It better be good.
I
It
it
had better be good.
I saw the jerseys that they showed, and I was like, those are something. That's a jersey. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how. I mean, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's a movie, so it can be cool, I
It's a
guess.
movie and it's a jersey, and I've seen better jerseys, but I've seen worse jerseys too.
Yeah, right.
So
Exactly. Yes,
that's how I
I'm
feel
in the
about it.
same boat there. All right. Well,
Let's
Jason, what's up?
if we could bring it back to jerseys really quick.
Oh, I can talk sports jerseys hours on end.
That was my most listened to podcast in November was myself and Paul Fernando. We talked retro reverse the
Oh,
entire time.
oh man.
I was
Yes.
so pissed that the Ducks didn't have the reverse retros. But looking at some of the other teams that had their retros out this week,
Oh,
some of them look really good on ice, and some of them I think
look
should go back to the
bad.
drawing boards. They
Yeah.
look bad on the ice.
There's some that look real bad on the ice, but so my just like not looking on the ice, like just like for a fan to buy the jersey, I would buy every one except for 3 teams. I wouldn't buy Edmonton's just because that I don't know, it
It's
looks
bright.
it's bright and it's more like an alternative. I don't know,
Yeah.
like make that your alternative. Oh, that's fun. There's a cat. Thank you, Zeus. All righty. And so the second one, Detroit, the Red Wings.
Yep.
That one's just
No
doesn't,
effort.
and that one doesn't even look good on ice either. It won't. Have they worn those ones yet?
Not yet.
Oh, that's not going to look good on ice.
No,
But
it's not.
and the third one is the Islanders,
Yep.
because you had the chance to do the Fisherman. Like that's still like that. I'm still so upset about that. Like I was like some of the teams were leaking like, oh, what's it gonna be? And like you knew before the jersey came out, the duck was gonna be breaking through the ice. You
Yeah.
just didn't know. And so I was saying, I was seeing all these Islanders. They're bringing back the Fisherman. I was like, yes, Fisherman jersey. And then they show up. I was like, I'm looking through all the teams. I'm like, where's the Fisherman? Where's the Fisherman? I was like,
It's not
are
there.
you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
It's
And
like
then,
they've worn this jersey before. Except they
oh,
actually have worn this jersey before.
seriously, and but like I think one of the underrated I think jerseys that isn't talked about. I wish they would just completely go back to these jerseys. is Florida's. I don't like. Okay,
Those
so
look those look
I
good.
yeah, I don't. Okay, well, I don't like the logo now. It doesn't look like a panther. It looks like a bobcat that isn't ferocious. It looks
Yeah.
like a little soft, cuddly animal. And then I saw those Panther jerseys. You got the claws out jumping. I was like, that's a panther right there. That
Hmm.
is a panther right there. Like I hope they would go back to those because those are beautiful jerseys.
But some of the best jerseys are all in the West. The Ducks one's amazing. The Kings one looked really good on ice.
I like
That
the
looked
yeah,
amazing.
I like the Kings one. I like the purple and gold feature with
Whoa,
that
whoa,
old.
whoa, 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 whoa. Foreign blue and gold.
Oh, oh, is that what it is? Foreign
Foreign
blue.
blue.
Oh, my bad there. But with
Jack
that,
Kent Cook is rolling in his grave right now. It's foreign blue.
oh man. But those look nice. I like the Kings ones. Okay, so I've heard mixed opinions. Arizona, do you like them or not?
Love it.
Thank you.
Love it.
Okay.
Love it. I've
Okay.
said even since the 90s, the green ones back then looked okay. And I remember being a kid saying, these would be so much better in purple,
Yeah.
even back then.
Yeah.
And now they did it. And I cannot wait to travel out to Arizona and buy one in person
Yeah. Those ones are
because
nice.
shipping costs are atrocious right now.
Through the roof. It's insane right now, some of it. Yeah. And
Yeah, what I'm
I
gonna do is I'm gonna go down to Anaheim probably next month and buy the reverse retro. But I'm probably just gonna buy the Fanatics one because I
mm,
looked at both jerseys up close. They're both sublimated. They look almost the exact same.
hmm,
So
interesting.
is there
Hmm,
kind of a point to buy the authentic here because they're both sublimated? They're both
yeah.
almost the same material.
Yeah, I don't yeah. Huh.
The
Interesting.
only difference is the dimples on the shoulder yokes, and that's it.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
But the other, yeah, that one's good. Arizona's up there. But the other good one I loved is Colorado.
yeah, that yes, yes. Go
Going back to
yes.
the
Going
Nordiques.
back to the Nordiques. Yes, those ones are really nice. I really like those ones a lot.
Yeah.
Uh,
Minnesota's looked bright the other night.
yeah, I have mixed opinion. Like, I don't know, like just to wear the jersey out in the public, I'm like but on the ice, I was like, that's it kind of looks good. It kind of looks bad. I don't know how I feel.
I felt bad because I got a little bit of hate for this saying, yeah, I think I'll get a tuna sub. Oh, wait, that's not really tuna.
Oh my gosh.
Going into
I
real news here.
oh my goodness.
News flash, it's not tuna.
I think I think my favorite, I mean, if we're just talking overall jerseys, like not like reverse retro included and every other all the other jerseys they have, my favorite has to be Carolina, the Hurricanes, all of their jerseys. The home and aways are nice. That alternative with the flag, like make
Hmm.
that the main jersey, make that the main jersey and make another one for make a white one of that. That could look nice. And then the reverse retro going back to Hartford, those are nice too. The gray and green. I'm a fan of the gray.
As far as an overall jersey set, Colorado's definitely among the top of the list.
Yes, yeah,
Just because
Colorado
they
as
don't have a
well.
bad jersey.
I agree. Colorado, yeah, they're up there as well. They have some good ones.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I think I've kept you long enough today. Why don't you tell my listeners where they can follow you and listen to Locked On Ducks?
So my podcast is called Locked On Anaheim Ducks, where I've covered the Anaheim Ducks, but I've been covering hockey for about a decade now, going back to the ECHL, AHL, still currently the American Hockey League, and now with the Anaheim Ducks. And just type in Locked On Anaheim Ducks, and you'll find the podcast there. And it's on Apple Podcasts, it's on Google Play or whatever Google's using these days, or whatever Android has right now. Spotify, you can look up Locked On Ducks, and there it is. And also Stitcher Radio or wherever you hear podcasts. I mean, what else do they use? Stitcher, they use, I don't know, Tuned In.
Hmm.
Anywhere that you can hear a podcast, type in Locked On Ducks, you could find it there. And also on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at LO_Ducks. And my personal Twitter is at StimpyJD, where it's not just hockey, but it's other stuff as well. Yeah, I talk some basketball sometimes, talk a little baseball sometimes, and just other real life stuff, which fair warning, because I am a game show aficionado, there's some game show talk on there as well. Because, hey, look who's going to host Jeopardy soon. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I saw. I saw that. I saw that he's doing he's hosting it. I don't know if you listened to Dan Patrick real quick. He has talked about, because he did Sports Jeopardy,
Yep.
like the schedule of it is insane. The
Yeah.
schedule is insane.
I mean, I've done Jeopardy tapings. I know how the schedule goes. It's
Mm,
insane. I've tried out for Sports Jeopardy and passed the test.
mm.
So
Wow.
I think I got as far as almost being an alternate on Sports Jeopardy
Okay.
back a few
Wow.
years ago.
Wow. That's pretty cool. Um,
But yeah,
Jason, thank you
yeah,
for being
check
on.
out the podcast.
Yeah, check out.
Subscribe.
Yeah, my even Kings fans, check out his podcast. Even yeah, everyone check him out. Jason, thank you so much for being on.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it a lot. You have a great day, and
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
of course, yeah, we'll do this again, and we'll talk more jerseys, more Ducks hockey, and hopefully the Ducks can quack on and maybe make a push for the playoffs.
Well, we'll see about that.